Russia has expelled a British diplomat, accusing him of espionage in a sharp escalation of the already fraught tensions between the two nations. The move is another blow to the already fragile diplomatic relations. Edward Wilkes, named by Russia's Federal Security Service, FSB, is accused of posing as a diplomat while secretly conducting intelligence operations that allegedly jeopardized Russia's national security. The FSB claims that Wilkes entered Russia under false pretenses and engaged in covert activities aimed at destabilizing the nation, though the details remain tightly guarded. The FSB also alleges that Wilkes was part of an undeclared British intelligence network operating under the cover of the British Embassy in Moscow. His actions, they say, were a direct threat to Russia's national security. In a statement, the FSB claimed that Wilkes had deliberately provided false information when obtaining permission to enter Russia, thus violating Russian law. They further accused him of conducting intelligence and subversive work that threatened Russia's security. The British government, however, has refused to comment at this stage, while Russia's foreign ministry ordered Wilkes to leave the country within 2 weeks, expelling him from Russian territory. This latest diplomatic clash follows a series of expulsions, including the expulsion of 6 British diplomats in August, accused of espionage and subversive activities by Russia. The FSB claimed that London had used these diplomats to escalate political and military tensions. In retaliation, Russia has expanded its stop list, barring 30 more British nationals from entering the country. Among those banned are key members of Prime Minister Keir Starmer's cabinet. While no British minister has stepped foot in Russia since before Putin's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, the move is symbolic, but sends a chilling message. The diplomatic chasm between the two nations is deepening by the day. In a further escalation, the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs summoned British Ambassador Nigel Casey to Moscow to deliver a strong protest. The embassy's chief representative was told that Moscow would take an uncompromising line on any future espionage activities under diplomatic cover. Casey ran the media gauntlet outside the entrance of the Russian Foreign Ministry on Tuesday. Footage showed him leaving the building, entering a car and driving away as journalists shouted questions. He appeared to dismiss them with a wave, a sign of the tense atmosphere surrounding this diplomatic standoff.
Why do you spend hundreds of millions of pounds to kill Russian citizens, but you won't pay for pensioners' fuel?
Russia warned that any further escalation from London would be met with a mirror response, likely resulting in more expulsions of British diplomats. Amid the escalating conflict in Ukraine, Britain's pivotal role in supporting Kyiv continues. Last week, UK-supplied Storm Shadow missiles were reportedly used by Ukraine to strike Russian targets for the first time, provoking a Russian military response. President Putin cited these missile strikes as justification for retaliating with hypersonic missiles, devastating Ukrainian cities in an act of escalating military aggression. The rift between Russia and the West, particularly Britain, has never been wider. Russia accuses the West of trying to tear the country apart, seize its resources and break its will. These claims, rejected by the UK and the US, fuel the growing animosity between the nations. Life for Western diplomats in Moscow has become increasingly challenging. With surveillance and scrutiny more common, Moscow has become one of the most high-risk assignments for diplomats. The Moscow rules, once designed to protect intelligence agents during the Cold War, now serve as a guide for modern diplomats navigating these complex circumstances. The espionage allegations follow a recent clash in which Britain's MI5 chief accused Russian military intelligence of involvement in sabotage and covert operations across Europe, suggesting Moscow may be engaged in activities aimed at destabilizing the continent. Russia swiftly denied the claims, dismissing them as unfounded and further widening the rift between the two nations. The Cold War of words continues. The expulsion of Wilkes is the latest chapter in a bitter saga of tit-for-tat expulsions and sanctions that have come to define Russia's increasingly hostile relationship with the UK. As both sides trade accusations of espionage, the broader geopolitical struggle rages on. The diplomatic standoff is a high-stakes game, with the ongoing Ukraine conflict at its heart. Where will this bitter showdown take us next?